Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to what I think is the last standard gameplay video from the Aetherdrift format, and we are going all the way back to the beginning. The first deck I played in Aetherdrift was a vehicle based deck, and I kind of mashed a lot of the new vehicles together. It didn't really work much, but this is a much better version of the deck with vehicles and a couple of mounts. And the main card we are playing is Guardian Sunmare. Now, this might seem familiar to people who have watched my, I think it was Theron horse deck. There is a card already called Crested Sunmare, which is also a 5 mana 5/5. But Crested Sunmare gives other horses indestructible, and if you gain life, you create a 5/5 basically. Guardian Sunmare is a 5 mana 5/5 War 2, which is good, and has Saddle 4, and says when it attacks while saddled, search your library for a non-land permanent card with mana value 3 or less, put onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So kind of similar to the Bright Glass Gearhulk, which can search up 2 creatures or artifacts with mana value 1 or less, but this is only 1, 3 or less, and it puts you straight onto the battlefield. So we do have a bit of a toolbox of things we can search up. So we do have one of Rest in Peace for the graveyard decks, Sheltered by Ghosts, which is obviously just such a great removal spell, Perilous Snare, which is another good removal spell, and Identified Hovership, which is also a vehicle and a removal spell. It can exile up to a creature with toughness 5 or less, but they don't get it back. When the vehicle leaves, they manifest dread, so they're going to get a 2/2, which might be something big, or it might be nothing. It also has flying, so that is some well-built in evasion. We also are playing some of the other cards we played before, such as Kolodin, Triumph Caster, a 2 mana 2/3, and it says mounts and vehicles you control have haste, and basically whenever a mount enters, it becomes saddled, and when a vehicle enters, it becomes, well, it gets an artifact creature, and because they have haste, we can attack and get that saddle bonus from the Guardian Sunmare, for example, straight away. We also have 4 copies of a Lumbering Worldwagon, which I actually think is probably one of the best cards in the deck. It's a 3 mana star 4, and its power is equal to the number of lands we control. When it enters or attacks, we may search our library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. It also has Crew 4. So this is great to get down early with a turn 1 Land or Elves into a turn 2 Lumbering Worldwagon. We're going to ramp, fix our mana if we need be, and then if we play a creature with 4 power on turn 3, we can immediately crew the Worldwagon and hit in for probably a decent amount, and get another land. And you know, it's not impossible for this to get up to like an 8 power or 9 power. Speaking of 4 power creatures, we have 3 copies of Wily Duke Atene Hero. We have played this as a commander on the channel. It's from all the way back in Outlaws of Thunder Junction. It's a 3 mana 4/2 with Vigilance, and it says when Wily Duke becomes tapped, you gain 1 life and draw a card. In this instance, Vigilance is actually a downside because you can't attack with it to become tapped. So it is designed to crew and to saddle. So if we saddle or crew our Worldwagon or saddle our Sunmare, we gain a life and draw a card, as well as getting the benefits from that. We also have 2 copies of Rip Spawn Hunter from Dustmourn. He's a 4 mana 4/4, and he has a survival trait, which basically, when at the beginning of our second main phase, something happens if he's tapped. So if Rip is tapped, we reveal the top X cards of our library where X is its power. Then we put any number of creature and vehicle cards with different powers among them into our hand, but the rest on the bottom of a library in a random order. So it won't hit mounts, but it does hit creatures and vehicles. But obviously mounts are creatures anyway, so that's not a problem, and it's not, you know, impossible to draw 2, 3, or maybe even 4 cards with this. We also have 4 copies of Seraphic Steed. We have played on the channel before. Again, it is from Outlaws of Thunder Junction, a 2 mana 2/2 with First Strike Lifelink, which is pretty good stat. It says when it attacks while saddled, we create a 3/3 white angel creature token with flying, and it also has saddle 4. And then we have 3 copies of the Intrepid Sable Master, a 2 mana 2/2 with reach. We can tap to add green or 2 mana of any one colour, but we can only spend this mana to cast mount or vehicle spells. We have 4 Llanowar Elves, which is just great. Obviously, it is a target for removal. And speaking of removal, our removal is 3 copies of Road Rage. We played in the original vehicle deck. It does X a target creature or planeswalker, where X is 2 plus the number of mounts or vehicles we control. So this can get up to 3, 4, or even 5. And at the top end, we have a copy of Valor's Flagship, a 7 mana 7/7 flying First Strike Lifelink Crew 3. We can also cycle it for 3 and an X, and we create X11 colourless pilot creature tokens, which saddle and crew vehicles and mounts as though it's power 2 or greater. And then we have Chandra Spark Card, just 1 copy, a 4-mana Planeswalker, and it has a stack ability. At the beginning of combat in your turn, choose up to 1 target vehicle we control. Until end of turn, it becomes an artifact creature and gains haste. And then we can +2 the second artifact or discard a card if we do draw a card. So we can do that to get rid of maybe extra lands we don't need, or if we have an artifact that just isn't really doing it. Or we can pay 0 to create a 3/2 colourless vehicle artifact token with crew 1, but because of its static ability, Chandler's static ability, obviously we can give it haste and make it an artifact creature. And then we can -7, so when you get an emblem whenever an artifact you control enters, this emblem deals 3 damage to any target. We don't really get there. We only have 1 copy of Chandra as well, so it's not something we play a lot. And then it's rounding out the deck. This was meant to be in the things we can search up. Ethereal Armor. It's a 1-mana enchantment with enchant creature. It says enchant creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment we control and has first strike. We only have 3 enchantments. Ethereal Armor, Rest in Peace, and Sheltered by Ghosts. Perilous Snare is an artifact. But sometimes you might want to get in with your Sunmare, but you don't want to fetch up Sheltered by Ghosts or Perilous Snare or Identified Hovership, because you might want to wait until there's something better to take out. Like, for example, if your opponent plays Bloodler of Akhlazotz or the Demon from Unholy Annex Ritual Chamber, you might not want to waste a removal spell just on that. So I think giving your Sunmare +1/+1 and first strike means it's very, very hard to block. Or maybe your opponent's board's pretty wide, and these just won't do it. You could put in temporary lockdown, but we do have a lot of 2 or less permanent, so we don't particularly want a temporary lockdown there. But yeah, sometimes you just want to give your Sunmare first strike and a +1/+1 so it's really hard for your opponent to block. Mana base is a bit weird. We struggled with white mana, and we might want to go back and take down a Copperline Gorge and put in another Razor Verge Thicket or another Plains, because while we have, I think, more green cards in the deck, and we need green early for Land and White Elves and the Stable Master, we have multiple things with white pips, so Guardian Sunmare and Valet's Flagship. Obviously, Guardian Sunmare can be cast with the Stable Master, but that it's not guaranteed we have it, and it can't tap for white for things like Kolodin or Wily Duke or Rip, which can be an issue. We are playing 23 lands as well with the Worldwagon, with drawing from Wily Duke, with our 7 mana dorks. I think you can get away with 23 lands, and this just allows us to play a few extra cards. So I really like this deck. It is much better than obviously the vehicle deck I played right at the start of Aetherdrift. And as this is the last video in the Aetherdrift Standard before Tarkir Dragonstorm comes out on Tuesday, I did feel it was appropriate. So I really enjoy it. Hope you do too. Please remember to stay tuned in on Tuesday for the first deck, and at the moment I am planning on being a Mardu mobilization deck, which is a new mechanic in Tarkir Dragonstorm. So I hope you will look forward to that one, and I hope to see you all then. But for now, I'll see you all in the gameplay. Ooh, opponent goes first, but if we can get Kolodin down into Seraphic Steed, that's pretty good. And into another Seraphic Steed. Maybe they're also a vehicle pilot deck. I mean, you don't have any good blocks. We can do that again with the Seraphic Steed. A second Seraphic Steed. Well, we will sack our pilot. Our angel, I mean. Deja vu. We need more lands. I know they don't have a sweeper. They had a sweeper. Wily Duke all by himself isn't fantastic. See? Thing is, they have so much removal, and we have just not hit our lands at all. This game has went well, then very badly for us. Well, there's a land. Only having one white mana is an issue. This is a problem as well. We're running out of removal. Although Road Rage would kill Glister. No, it wouldn't. We would need to get down another... Again, having only one white is crippling us.
No more distractions. Let's make this quick. Oh, sacrifices must be made.
We need that white mana. It's not an enchantment. It's an artifact. Oh. Let's get a hover ship and exile the slasher. They're down to 4. We don't have any more removal though. I have a lot of lands.
things we'd rather forget.
They can gain life as well. I'm not sure that was smart. They can gain 3. Sorry, they gain 5. Because of the annex. We will get an ethereal armor, which is an enchantment, so it can be destroyed. Why did you do that? That was odd. They could have survived, but all right. We go first with a very slow hand, but we do have all our colours. And we have 2 Worldwagons. Oh, I'd love to draw Kolodin. Oh, just another Plains. Let's get down, rest in peace. Blue-green probably doesn't use the graveyard much. Let's get a mountain. We have drawn a lot of our basic lands. Next up, we can get down the Sunmare and crew the Worldwagon. Although if we think there's a counterspell in our future, we might play out the Worldwagon, the other Worldwagon. Maybe the rest in peace is gonna help. If it was blue-white, I would say it's a Omniscience or a Pornoculus deck, but blue-green? They might have Haughty Djinn, which obviously is going to be a 0-4 now. Unless they find a way to destroy a Rest in Peace. Which in green is very possible. I think we can safely get down the Sunmare. Or I think we get down Kolodin and our second Worldwagon. Oh, we are out of basic lands. Yeah, Sealed Hope doesn't do much. They can still get stuff back because it says you can get. It doesn't say like return a card from your graveyard. It still counts as one of the milled cards. Well, we can do both. Do they have a counter? Doesn't look like they do. Like they do. And I believe they haven't got the mana for this town ain't big enough on Guardian Sunmare. Because it's got War 2. Alright, Rona's Vortex then. Well, we don't have any more. Nope. Oh, they got black as well. A second up the beanstalk. Now they definitely can't bounce our Sunmare, and yeah, we just get it for lethal. More than enough. Our opponent goes first. With, unfortunately, do we... Oh, I think we can keep this because the Stable Master can get out the Steed. It can't get out Kolodin though. Oh, there's another Verge. Let's get down the Sunmare. I just need one white source of white land so we can get down Wily Duke. That is not it. I'm still going to attack with the Sunmare. We're a land away from being able to play out Valor's flagship as well. So they're on a Might deck. Well, they can get us up to a fair amount of poison. Well, I think we do take out one. Well, that can get her planes. Let's get down Wily Duke. And let's crew our Sunmare. Let's get a Perilous Snare. Get rid of the Squirrel's Hive. I don't think we need Chandra. The Stable Master can now block the Duelist profitably. That's a shame. Well, we're up to 9. I think we just have lethal. Because we get Shelter by Ghosts. And hit them for 9. I don't think we can keep a one lander. I think we put back the flagship. At least we can turn 3 Chandra. Oh, might as well get the Fable Passage down. I don't think it really matters, but we do need double white. So I suppose it technically does matter. Do they have a counter spell? They do. There was no stick that time. Playing out the Worldwagon means we can get down our Sunmare and immediately crew. Oh, it's Intimidation campaign. Oh, please don't tell me they drew another counter spell. If you're going to do it, yeah, they need to do it now, then. Well, let's get down the Sunmare again, and maybe we can cycle the flagship to crew it if it survives. we can create 3. And yeah, they're gonna... I imagine, well, they have obviously exiled our Sunmare. Well, we can cycle it at instant speed, so let's do it at the end of their turn. Three, so for 4. Well, let's see if we can get down the snare and take out their intimidation campaign. I imagine not. No. Worldwagon is lethal. But we know they have board wipes. Worldwagon this time. I mean, if we draw a Wily Duke, we are gonna win. Sometimes Magic is just that easy. There we go. We go first. No, well, I suppose turn 2 Kolodin into turn 3 Worldwagon. Nope, we don't have any white mana. I'm not sure our Lana White Elves has actually done anything in most of our games. We can play Rip. Oh, they just a Rats deck. We can play Rip and crew the Worldwagon with it. Let's get our last planes. Hovership and Lana White Elves, sure. We can play out Lana White Elves. And next turn we can Kolodin. We've got 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, so we can, yeah, Kolodin, Seraphic Steed, and Wily Duke. Assuming they, so assuming they don't take out Alan or Elves. Right, first up, Kolodin. Then Wily Duke. Then Seraphic Steed. Saddle, well, crew with Duke. There's a Sunmare. Hitting for 9. And basically next turn, well, they're in trouble, let's just put it like that. We can't quite play out our entire hand. And our graveyard is dead. Right, yeah, we play out the Sunmare, we play out the hover ship. The hover ship can take out Caramonyx. We can get Sheltered by Ghosts for the Beastbinder. And then I don't have any blockers. Opponent goes first, but I think it's an okay hand. Turn 1, Llanowar Elves. Turn 2, Worldwagon. Assuming it survives. Well, turn 2, Seraphic Steed then. Turn 3, Wily Duke. We'll just go for the Worldwagon then. Let's get planes. And let's crop our Worldwagon. We hit in for 6. And next time we can do that again. Well, let's crop. Let's just get mountain when we need it, but should have paid out my land drop first. Then we will Sunmare and Sheltered by Ghosts on the Sunmare because it already has Ward 2, and take out their Unholy Annex. And from what I understand about runes is if they do remove the Sunmare, which has got Ward 4 or Ward 2 twice, isn't the easiest, they would still then, it would basically come back with no rooms unlocked. Well, we can just take out their slasher. And we don't need to crew, we can just hit him for 10. Definitely didn't do that because I forgot to, well, saddle it beforehand, but we had lethal anyway. Hello Magic fans and welcome back to a very quick wrap up. So as I said in the deck tech, I think, you know, MVP goes out the Lumbering Worldwagon. I think this is such a good card. Be able to get it down on turn 2 or even turn 3. You fix your mana, you ramp, you increase the power of the Worldwagon, and then if you can smash in with it the next turn, you're well on your way to winning. I think if I was, you know, if you're going to do the deck 100% properly for, you know, if you're looking to win, you would get rid of Chandra, you would get rid of Valor's Flagship, and I think you'd probably go up a couple of Sheltered by Ghosts. Sheltered by Ghosts is such a powerful removal spell. You know, it giving a creature Ward 2 with Guardian Sunmare, which also has Ward 2. You know, giving a creature Ward 4 is no joke. And sometimes, you know, you might already have it or you've already searched it up and you just want something else to search up. And I think so, you know, go a couple more of them. You only need one rest in peace because if you need it, you need it. If you don't, you don't. But so, yeah, that's what I would do as well. I was thinking about putting an Outcast Trailblazer instead of Rip. It is a 3-mana 4/2, non-legendary, so you can have more than one out. And it says when it enters, you add 1 mana of any colour, and you can plot it for 1 and a green. And you know what? I can actually show you, can't I? The Trailblazer. And then, yeah, so when another creature can try power 4 or greater enters, we draw a card. And the reason I didn't in the end, because the only creatures we have with power 4 or greater is Wily Duke or other Trailblazers. So we're not going to draw many off them. Whereas with Rip, you know, if you can get it down and immediately crew a vehicle, you're going to draw, you know, probably 1 or 2, sometimes 3 cards off it. So that's why we've gone with Rip. And obviously it has a bigger booty with being a 4/4 and not a 4/2, although it is 1 mana more expensive. And we can even, you know, we don't have many ways to buff it, but you know, Ethereal Armor and Sheltered by Ghost does increase its power, so it is possible to look at even more cards on top of the library. So that's the deck. It's really, really fun, really fitting, I think, to end Aetherdrift Standard on a vehicle or mounts deck. So really looking forward as well to Tarkir Dragonstorm. Although I will say now, I'm really disappointed that a set called Dragonstorm doesn't have the card Dragonstorm in it. It seems like an easy thing for Wizards to throw in. So anyway, but really hope you like the deck. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe. We have one last Brawl video coming on Sunday, which will be relevant to Target Dragonstorm tenuously. I've played Nico Bola so far, who returns in the story of Target Dragonstorm, but doesn't actually have a card. Then we played Miriam, a Dragon Commander, and we are going to play a Storm Commander on Sunday. I've already played Rao, Kraken Conduit, on the channel before, who is a Storm Commander, so I'm not playing Rao. He'll probably be in the deck, but not as a commander, so please tune in on Sunday for that, and then tune in on Tuesday for the first deck from Target Dragonstorm. But in the meantime, I'll see you all in the next video.